we'll go ahead and get started. Welcome, everybody, and I want all the Rotary Club of Topeka members to be on good behavior today. We have guests from Washburn University, and we want to leave them with a positive impression. So with that, let's start with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America, and to the republic which stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, for all liberty, justice for all. Off he goes.
Thank you very, very much. Well, I saw our three Washburn guests, and Hurst will be introducing them a little later. Does anybody else have some additional guests? Okay. With that, I just want to remind all of you that our club is sponsoring a blood drive tomorrow at TPAC. If any of you are able and willing to contribute, you will need to make a reservation for that. And if you just go to the website, savealifenow.org, all lowercase, group, you can sign up to donate blood. With the COVID virus, there's just a great shortage of blood, and this blood will be going to our local hospitals and communities nearby. So that's really nice. I also want to share with you, Nita asked before the meeting got started if I'd heard from the Rotary Club of Harlem, and we are in contact with them, and we do plan on continuing our relationship with them. There is a possibility that it could include also some other clubs. We're working through all the details. In the interim with that, they have invited us to participate in a meeting they're having Saturday morning on intimate partner violence during the COVID. And so this really relates to our special signature project with the YWCA. And if any of you are interested in participating in that, it is June 13th. And it is from 11 o'clock to 12:30. Just contact me and I'll send you the connection for that. Being technically disadvantaged, that was easier for me than to try and figure out how to forward it to all of you. So, okay. With that, I would like to ask that all of our members mute their speakers, and we will start off with Karen Streeter from SLI, and she's one of our members, and also SLI is our cup money for the month of June. If you go to our website and click on our on SLI, you can contribute to our cup money electronically. It's very, very smooth, and I encourage you to do that. So with that, Karen has 5 minutes and 4 seconds to share with us about her agency.
I don't know, that 4 seconds kind of scares me. Yes, good afternoon. Thank you so much for selecting SLI to be a Red Cup recipient in June. We really appreciate it. And thanks for letting me come tell our story of the work that we do with adults with intellectual and developmental disabilities. In 2021, SLI is going to celebrate 50 years of services in Topeka. I'm very excited about that. Our mission is to support the efforts of individuals with diverse abilities to live independently and actively participate in the community. And I'm sure that's something that we can all agree, that's our wish for any child who grows into adulthood. Until SLI opened its first group home in Topeka in 1972, parents had to make a really difficult decision, and that was whether or not they were going to keep adult children in their homes or institutionalize them. Well, SLI changed that when we opened our first group home. And today we've got 5 programs. The first one is targeted case management. We work with about 75 clients and help them achieve their goals, plus meet their critical needs. Job training program works to not only give people the skills they need to be successfully employed, but we take it further. We actually hire clients and use them in our facility for our janitorial work, landscaping work, as well as auto detailing. Our independent living program works with about 30 clients, and the whole purpose of that is that's for those clients that don't have to live in a group home, but they still need a little bit of support. So we have staff that work with them on a variety of things. To fulfill that vision of our founders, we now own 21 homes in Topeka, and we're able to provide a place to call home for about 100 women and men ranging from 18 to 85 years old. That's very special, I believe. And our community integration program, CIP, provides specialized services. Provides day services, basically. Clients can interact with each other, learn new skills, and participate in the community through volunteerism. And that part just tickles me to death because in 2019, our clients provided over 10,000 hours of volunteerism in the community at organizations like Meals on Wheels and the Topeka Rescue Mission, along with other organizations, including a city park that they've adopted. So our work is important, and it is supported through a unique blend of reimbursements, state and county allocations, grants that we write, various fundraising activities, and revenue from our annual event, Festival of Trees. What's important to understand is that SLI provides over $700,000 worth of services every year that are not reimbursable by anybody. That's why our fundraising is so important, because we've got to meet those needs. And those are things like $250,000 worth of transportation a year, $70,000 worth of nursing services a year, $7,000 in insulin shots, $7,500 in PPE expenses, and we now all know what PPE means after the last 3 months. $12,000 in vision and dental expenses, and the list just goes on and on. So we couldn't do any of that without friendships and supporters like Rotary. Let's talk about reopening, because that's on our mind. It's starting to happen in our community, and it's going to be slowly happening at SLI. But we're especially cautious because most of our clients have underlying health conditions that make them extremely susceptible to COVID. On June 16th, we're going to open our CIP program, the day services program, to a small group that do not have underlying health conditions. We're putting in advanced safety and health protocols, and some of the things that we're adding are going to be things like hand cleansing stations, plexiglass barriers in a number of locations where there's interactions, as well as the continued purchase of things like gowns, masks, face shields, all of those things, just to keep everybody healthy. I'd share with you in the last 3 months, we spent $5,000 alone just on PPEs, and about $1,500 on the thermometers that we can take people's temperatures and stuff. So it's been a challenge for us. Red Cup donations in June are going to be used to help us continue to keep our clients safe as we slowly roll out our services. We've worked really hard to keep our clients healthy, and I'm knocking on wood. We've had no clients get sick. We've had no staff get sick, and we're just so very grateful for that. It's the vision of our director who very quickly pushed us into safe standards. But we've kept them safe, and we're now kind of asking that you guys help us keep them safe as well. The money that we will receive from Red Cup donations are going to be used to help purchase those hand cleansing stations, as well as plexiglass guards to keep clients safe. So we think those are really important things. I hope you will see the value of that and why it's so important. So as a member of this club, I'm just going to put out my challenge to the rest of you. Today's June 11th. I just picked that one. So I'm going to be putting in at least $11 into our virtual Red Cup today. And I'm going to select that button. So I'm kind of challenge you to think about, would you meet my match of $11 or higher and help us keep our clients safe? So that's my story. I think I'm under 5 minutes and 4 seconds. I'm so very grateful, and I really look forward to when we can get back together in person.
Are there any questions since she has 96 seconds left?
How? How'd I do that?
I didn't keep time. Well, I would just remind all of you to go on our website where you can contribute electronically and meet her challenge. That would be wonderful. And we wish you well, and we thank you and SLI for the wonderful services that they do. And
Joy, this is Bob. I have a quick question for Karen. Is that okay?
Yes.
Karen, who do you want me to send this check to? I'm the one who sends the check. Whose attention should I send it to?
You can send that to my attention at SLI.
I'll do it. Thank you.
Thank you, Bob.
Okay.
He's a good person to know. Yeah. Okay, good. Okay, with that. So once again, I'll ask you to put your audios on mute so that Hurst, who is a longtime member of ours. In fact, Hurst, I was thinking as I was getting ready this morning that you were the one that told me that the International House at Washburn University was got help starting by the Rotary Club of Topeka. So I'll ask you to kind of throw that into your presentation.
Thank you, Joni, and hello, everybody. Yes, that project predated my becoming a member of the club in 1977, so that's been an affiliation with the International House dating way back. I was asked by Joni to talk a little bit about Francine Hines, and I'm delighted to do that. I knew Francine for many years, even before she was a member of our club. Francine was born Francine Baudu, I'm sure she would correct my pronunciation, in Brussels, Belgium. And when she was 15 years old, the Nazis invaded Belgium. And she and her two brothers were teenagers all through the rest of their teenage years under Nazi occupation until the liberation in 1945. So, and they invaded Belgium in 1940. She was only about 4'10", I think, but she had a lot of stature and elegance. And when you saw her come into her room, you had no idea she was a little short lady because she carried herself with great stature. After the war in 1946, she married Barton Neubauer, who was an American soldier that she had met. And they moved to the Silver Lake area and raised their daughter, Colette. Some of you maybe knew Colette, who came back to visit her mother from time to time. I always envisioned that period of about kind of like the old Green Acres TV show. I just can't quite imagine Francine being out on a farm, but I imagine that it worked. And then after his death, she later married Halsey Hines. Francine became a U.S. citizen in 1951, and she was always extremely proud of her United States citizenship. And Halsey was a commander in the Navy in the Pacific in World War II, and was a very interesting fellow also. He was decorated for having flown, I think, 190 missions, air bombing missions off of an aircraft carrier. And he was also on the USS with Commander Nimitz, with Admiral Nimitz, am I correct, when the surrender took place with the Japanese. and they got the word that they were to go off their ship and go over to the USS Missouri to receive the surrender from from the Japanese, because of course Harry Truman wanted the history books to say that it took place on the USS Missouri, and Halsey was there when that happened. And years later, when Halsey was at Presbyterian Manor in the dementia unit, I'd go visit him, and none of the other old gentlemen around there could remember his name, but I happened to call him Commander, and they all perked up. So after that, I told the nurse, just call him Commander. And they did from that time on. Francine graduated from Washburn in 1976. She was a diligent student of all kinds of subjects. She held positions of kind of ambassadorial positions and military-related positions under, I'll give you the list, Governor George Docking, Governor George John Anderson, Robert Docking, John Carlin, Joan Finney, and Bill Graves. So she was very important in our Kansas State history and politics. She also worked as an adjunct faculty member at Washburn University, and was also worked at the Menninger Clinic, Menninger Foundation. So Francine had a wide swath in the Topeka area and was very impressive in everything she did. She was a tireless worker for the Topeka Rotary Club, and was a Paul Harris Fellow. She also diligently groomed the candidates for the ambassadorial scholarships. And I remember her telling me that she would have, they lived at Edinburgh, 29th and Wanamaker at that time, and Francine would have the students come out to her house and do a trial interview with her. And she had them dress exactly the way they were going to dress when they went to Atchison for the interviews. And if they weren't dressed the way she thought they would be, she made them come back with whatever it was that she thought needed to be corrected. She was always a winner with those students, and we have a long history of really having outstanding Rotary ambassadorial scholarships, much thanks to Francine. And it's for that reason, primarily, and also her strong connection with Washburn University, that our scholarships are named after Francine Hines. And I think it's a lasting memorial to her devotion to education, to Rotary, and to international students, that this is a scholarship named after her. An interesting thing I read in her history was that at one time she visited Paraguay on behalf of the state of Kansas, and established a humanitarian and economic ties with programs in Paraguay. And I hadn't realized that she did that until I read that in her history. I have a couple of little anecdotes about Francine. One was that she had that wonderful French accent. And when she went up to make an announcement, it was kind of like it was always a contest between her and Roy Browning, who could make the most impressive presentation from the podium. And Francine was always prepared for her comments. And we'd wait because her accent was nice. I mean, her English was impeccable. But when it came to the word because, she didn't say because like we Kansans always said it. It was because. And I would wait for her to say something and then say because. And I always remember Francine with that beautiful accent. I have an interesting anecdote. I don't think Francine would mind me telling you this, but I was very close with them, and they later moved to Pepper Tree, where I live. And toward the end of her last year or so, Francine had some recurring health problems with cancer. And so I took her on more than one occasion to visit her on her medical appointments. And one time I was with her in Dr. Vogel's office, Stan Vogel's office, who was her oncologist. And he had gave her a report that her chemotherapy seemed to be putting things in remission. You know, I mean, they went through the report and everything. And I just said to Stan, I said, you know, Stan, it's amazing to me that Francine's had so much chemotherapy. And as far as I remember, she never lost her hair. And she kind of put her shoulders back and looked at him and me and said, well, I was not about to lose my hair. and I looked at Stan Vogel and he said, the woman willed her hair to stay in her head. Now that's how much determination Francine Hines had. And if she had a project, especially with our Rotary Club, if there was a project to be done, there was no way you could say, no, Francine, I'm not going to help you with that. because she was great at getting things done and recruiting everybody to participate. I think I'd like to give our scholarship students time to make a comment or two, if they would. Our first recipient is Alicia Piakarel from Nepal. She is a student, of course, at Washburn University, and I won't give away much of her bio because I want her to tell us a little bit about what she's doing. And Alicia, congratulations on receiving the Francine Hines Scholarship, and we'd love to hear a little bit from you.
You're on mute, Alicia. Can you turn your...
Sorry. Yeah. Thank you so much. First of all, I would like to say thank you for all of you for having me here. And I'm so grateful that I am included in this meeting today, and the Rotary Club members, and also whatever the SLI services I heard about. It was really great to know about those services. And also I am very happy and glad to get the Francine Hines Scholarship. Thank you so much for having me here.
Alicia, tell us what you're studying and your major interest.
Actually, I am studying nursing. I'm in sophomore year right now, and yeah, as you already said, I'm from Nepal. I have already completed my PCL nursing in Nepal, and I worked for 2 years in a hospital, and now I'm here for my bachelor's to get the. My goal is to get the license, they call the R, and to pass the NCLEX exam and get registered license, and yeah.
Tell us a little bit about your family and your town or city where you're from.
Yeah, of course. I am from a small town in Nepal. Nepal itself, it's a small country, but even though it's a diverse in its location and people, I am from a small place where I have my mom, dad, and me, just 3 people in my family, and it's in Atarai region. It's a plain area where you get lots of people from different religion, different speaking different languages, having different ethnicity. And yeah, it's kind of a fun place, too hot in summer.
So, right, is there a hospital there?
Yes, the hospital, there are 2 hospitals, one's the private and one's the public. I have worked in both. I worked in the public hospital when I was studying, as a volunteer or internship. And then after I passed and I get the license, I worked in the private hospital.
Well, can you tell us what's the difference in Nepal between a public hospital and a private hospital?
Okay, the main difference that I have found is public hospitals are much more cheaper than private hospitals, but to be honest, they don't give a lot of variety of services that the private hospital could provide.
All right.
Still not so developed, I must say.
But do you have, how much time do you have left then to finish your degree?
It'll be 2 years more. I completed 2 years. Now I got accepted into nursing school, and now upcoming semester will be my first semester in nursing school.
And will you spend some time in a hospital in Topeka as part of your studies?
Yes, we are going to spend some time, but I haven't got much more information about it till now because of this COVID thing. Some of the hospitals, they are my teachers and my advisor told they will not be accepting students or kind of thing. But let's hope that we will get our chance to visit all the practice thing.
Alicia, were you or your family affected by the earthquake a few years ago?
Yes. It was in 2012, and it was a huge mess in our country. It was people, they are running out of the home, they are going on the ground and sleeping for a week, and yeah, we were a lot affected. We don't know what to eat and where to stay. and there is a big ground in our town, and like all the people with their tents and their bags, they are there just trying to protect themselves.
And how are things now?
Now it's quite well. Like we haven't experienced that, massive earthquake till now. After that, even, but still, like we do get some shakes in a while. But that's not a big deal right now. It's fine, I must say.
Good.
Well, Lanisha, congratulations, and I have to compliment you on your beautiful English.
Thank you so much. English is not my first language. Like I'm just trying to be.
You're doing wonderfully with it. And congratulations, and we look forward to hearing more from you through the next 2 years. Please come and visit us anytime at our meetings.
Sure, I would. Sure. Thank you so much.
Does anyone else have any questions they'd like to ask Alicia? Well, let's introduce Kun Shi. And Kun, I think you're on there someplace. Kun is also a course at Washburn University majoring in computer information science, which is something all of us need a lot of help with. So we know who to call. And I'd like for Kun to come on and tell us a little bit about himself and what he's doing and his degree and work at Washburn.
Hi, my name is Kun Shi. I'm from a very small town with like 400,000 populations, and from China, which is kind of 2 hours driving from Wuhan. And currently I'm a computer information science major. I have like just one semester left, so I'm a senior. And for my family, my parents have already retired, and my dad got cancer last year and passed away this summer. My mom just currently live lonely. And for by myself, I'm not a traditional student. Actually, I have already got a bachelor degree about accounting and financing. And I went back to China and working as a stockbroker for like 2 years. And frankly, I don't really like that kind of job. So that's why I chose to get my second. This is my second bachelor degree. I hope this second degree can help me to get a job more technically. And I hope I can after graduation. I hope I can be a competent a full stack programmer. Can do make my contribution to a large business application and work for a big company. I hope I can do that.
Very good. Do you have any brothers or sisters?
I have sisters who are 10 years older than me, who are currently she is a teacher teaching music and piano.
Mm-hmm. Very good. Well, we're sure sorry to hear about your father. That's too bad. And you were here when that happened?
When my father got really sick, I received the emergency call from my family. Just fly back to China, join.
Okay, that's good. Okay, now you have been involved in a lot of things at Washburn, aside from just studying. Why don't you tell us a little bit about some of your other activities
about
on campus?
On campus, I joined a computer club in Washburn. In which we are we invite guests to talk about like new topics in the industry, and we study together and try to like build small projects and all together with other computer programming students, and I also take part in the PACE club of International House, help the new students get ready for their study. So
right, very good. Well, where did you go? Where did you receive your first bachelor's degree?
I received a Washburn at 2016.
Okay, all right, and then you went to China and then came back.
Yeah, I came back. January 2019.
Okay, very good.
Yeah.
I'm going to ask you a silly question.
Oh.
Okay, where would you recommend we go for good Chinese food in Topeka?
I don't know. I usually go to Thai food. I don't.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Do you go to Tup Tam Thai?
Yeah. That's my favorite.
I thought I saw you there. I thought I saw you there. They're not open again, I don't think, are they?
They're not open, but they offer delivery. I book online and go to pick up.
I just go in and they just ask me, do you want this time chicken or shrimp? They know I ordered the same thing every time. Well, what are your plans for the future? Going back to China, or do you think you could work in America or Europe?
I hope I can find a. I hope before I go back to China, I hope I can get a job or work for a couple of years. That's the policy. After graduation, I have like 2 years, more than 2 years of working permission. So I can find a job in United States, but in this time it's kind of hard. So I'm not really sure.
Well, your English is outstanding, and I think being bilingual is a real advantage for you, isn't it?
I hope so.
Yeah, okay. Joni, did you have any questions for King?
No? Do any of our members have questions? Oh, it's so unusual to have you guys quiet. I'm going to really enjoy that. Well, congratulations to you on receiving the Francine Hines Scholarship. She would be very proud of both of you. And we're proud of you, and we want to welcome you back to visit us at our club meetings. We're going to, I understand we'll be meeting at the new Japanese Garden in Gage Park in the future. Yes. And maybe we can have you both over for a lunch with us when we finally can meet at a distance, sitting at distance, and at least meet you in person. And I'd like for Bailey Zhang from the International House to say a few words. You've been instrumental in getting all of this put together. Bailey, please say a little word to us about your program and your remembering of Francine.
Thank you, Hurst, and President Joni for having me. Hello, everybody. It's great to join you. Always great to see the familiar faces. In fact, since COVID-19, I have not attended a single meeting of my own club. So don't please. I saw Roger there. I was going to ask Joni and Grace not to tell their connections at my club. Yeah, but I have not given up on that one. But this is a particularly wonderful opportunity for me to be with you. And we are very proud of the two recipients, as you just heard. They are great representatives of the international students at Washburn University. Yes, Francine Hines. I'm among the lucky ones who got to actually interact with her. And, it didn't really have to take long or many meetings to be impressed and to always remember her, for her passion, dedication, and particularly her passion for global understanding. She would come to campus often to give us information, to support us with various project ideas, and often get very involved. Yes, she got very involved in the things that she believed in. And speaking of her strong connection to Washburn University, I'm sure there were very many, but one of which was quite important that I wanted to highlight here. That is, she served on the Washburn Board of Regents once. So that was quite an honor, and she treated very honorably and very productively. President Farley and I, of the older days, and he would often tell me that Francine was among the best regents that he had the opportunity to work with. So it just gave you some idea of how far-reaching Francine Hines' influence and involvement had, and what kind of impact things that we all believe in. So I want to thank the club for being so generous and so consistent to support this program. And so I'm sure Francine Hines would be very proud of the students that we select that you help award. So thank you all again. Thank you all very much.
Thank you. Joni, we'll turn it back to you.
Great. It's fun hearing the personal stories about Francine, and I hope you, our honorees, fully appreciate the high expectations for you as you proceed in this next year. And we will look forward to you coming to future meetings when we start meeting face to face. We're hoping to do that beginning July 9th or 11th, I forget, whatever that Thursday is. We will comply with all of the county requirements regarding COVID-19, so that date is flexible. I would also remind all of you, the club really needs every member's help regarding the move to Gage Park and to the Japanese Garden. We will no longer go by our nickname, Downtown Topeka. We're not downtown. We haven't been downtown for a while. So we are working on rebranding, but we need your help to start referring to us as our official legal name, the Rotary Club of Topeka, and help other people make the transition to that also. So thank you very much. I do want to remind you that the Rotary Club of Harlan has invited us to a program that they're giving on Saturday. It begins at 11:30 Central Time, and it is regarding intimate partner violence during COVID. And I know that that's something that the YWCA and Kathleen group is well aware of in terms of what's happening in Topeka. If you're interested in participating in that, just text or email me and I will give you the connections to do that. Next week we have a very interesting program, and it will be our own Community Services Committee. And they will be sharing with you what we have accomplished this past year in the community and the difference that we have made. And they will also be asking for your ideas for what we want to do next year. We rely on district grants, and the district grants in this coming year, we will be submitting requests for by the end of the summer, and the requirements for that are going to be a little bit more stringent than they have been in the future. So it'll be important for us to get clear on what we want to do and the difference we want to make so that we can continue to make a difference in our community. And that will be a Zoom. With that, we will end with the four-way test. And so take all your mutes off, and we will say in chorus the four-way test. Of the things we think
will be beneficial.
Concern. Will it be fun? And is it kind? You all have a great week, and we'll see you next week. Thank you all.
Bye-bye.